So here's my 5-point plan on how to rebuild the Democratic Party. It's relatively simple. First, we go inside the DNC and we fire everyone, every single person. Clean up, go home, clean up, go home, clean up, go home. You're all fired because this is a breathtaking failure. It makes epic fail look small. You lost to a clown. He squirts water out of the flour on his lapel. I'm a reality show star. You're fired. You're fired. Hey, maybe we send Trump into the DNC and he fires them all. You guys are a national embarrassment. All fire yourselves immediately, okay? And by the way, they were supposed to win the Senate. This is when they had all of the Senate seats in their favor. In the next election, there's so many more Democratic incumbents up. In this one, there were so many Republican incumbents up. This was the election they were supposed to win on the Senate side. What happened? Lost. Why did they lose? Because they're a bunch of losers. I did a whole segment called Loser Donald. Hey, my bad. I underestimated how much of a loser the Democratic Party is. It turns out they out-losered them. So you didn't regain back the House. You didn't regain the Senate in a year that you had every capability of regaining the Senate. And you lost to an orange buffoon. So why? Why would you keep your jobs? I'm not sure I can literally come up with a scenario where you could have lost worse. I guess you could have lost one more Senate seat or a couple of more congressional seats, but this is almost as bad as it gets. This is record-breaking losses. If you don't get fired over this, what gets you fired? Like if you are all high-fiving right now going, oh, we got this, man, we got it. Let's leave these guys in charge for the next election. Well, guess what's going to happen in the next election? They're going to get mauled. It's a building full of losers. Fire them all. Okay, and I'll tell you why they're losers in a second. It's not just, it's again not personal. I don't know any of those folks, and I don't want to know them, okay? And it's not because, oh, golly gee willikers, man, their human resources is miserable. Just keep picking the wrong guys, right? Now, I'll explain in a second. But first, I got to give you the second step in what they should do. They should hire Bernie Sanders as the head of the DNC. Now, look, sitting politicians can be the head of the DNC. Debbie Wasserman Schultz was a sitting congresswoman, and she was the head of the DNC. Bernie Sanders, a lot of folks think he's not going to run again given his age. They thought if they regained the Senate, he would be a committee chair. Well, he's not a committee chair. They didn't regain the Senate. I think he's got a little bit of time on his hands. Now, he was the guy who was right. He was the guy who was up 15 points against Donald Trump. Oh, no, Bernie Sanders can't win. Hillary Clinton's got this locked down. Well, you morons were wrong about that. He was right. You were wrong. Get out. Get out. Clean up. Go home. He's the new boss. Now, if you run progressive populist campaigns, it turns out you can win. It turns out he outraised Hillary Clinton. But they say, oh, no, we need the money. We can't do unilateral disarmament. But he figured out how to get the money. If he figured out how to get the money, maybe you put him in charge. And he figured out how to get the money without selling out. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that a record of success? He had no name recognition, closed a 60-point lead on Hillary Clinton. Isn't that an amazing record of success? But everybody at the DNC will look at this and go, come on, no, Bernie Sanders, no way. I mean, he would fire us all. That's okay, I already fired all of you in step one, okay? Now, who has the power to make these kind of decisions? Well, if we had an actual leader as president, he would say, it may be time to reassess here, right? That didn't work out well. Uh-oh, Trump is going to kill my legacy of Obamacare and everything else on day one. Oops! You know what? Let's go in a new direction. But Obama's not that leader. He's not going to do any of this. I'm telling you what they should do. They won't do it. They'll look at it and go, no. Here, speaking of which, let's go to third thing they should do. Presidential candidate will not take big money donors next time. In 2020, they should make that pledge right now. Next time, free and fair elections, not taking big donor money. Then you could be a true populist party. You could actually represent people instead of corporations. I know, again, the guys at the DNC represent their people. This guy online's crazy. You're crazy, dog. Well, how's your strategy working out? I'm pretty sure I know how it's working out, okay? So if you said that, you know what you could do? You could regain the populist mantle. How did Donald Trump win? He was totally incompetent. He had no ground game. You way outraised him. I thought money was everything. What happened? What happened? You outraised them with all your corporate donations, But people saw you taking all that money from multinational corporations, all the big donors, and they punished you for it. They didn't reward you for it, they punished. I got to keep repeating it because they're really, really slow in Washington. They're like, but I don't understand, we had more money. Yeah, but that didn't help you. The point is supposed to be you win the election at the end, but you didn't win the election, so you were wrong. Somebody told me not to do this today. Don't pour salt in their wounds. Somebody get me a salt shaker. Okay? No, because it isn't personal. You've got to straighten this ship today. You've endangered the whole goddamn world by making Donald Trump president with your incompetence. So I can't have you going in that direction for one more day. So if you run a populist campaign, it turns out you could win. Let's try it on the left where we actually represent people instead of bankers and the powerful, as Donald Trump actually does. It's a fake populism that he has. We can do real populism. Okay. Number 4 is very simple, but it has to be on every single list. Fighting to get money out of politics. Over 90% of the country says that money has a corrupting influence on politics. It's not an arcane issue. It's not a partisan issue. Yeah, Republican politicians don't want you to get money out of politics. They use it, right? It's certainly the Senate, the congressional level, et cetera. Presidential campaigns are totally different because there's so much free media. But how do you think the Republicans won the Senate? Yeah, there was the wave of Trump, et cetera, but it was also a ton of money they spent in advertising when no one else was paying attention. But their Republican voters are not with the Republican politicians. They actually also hate the money in politics. They think it corrupts politics. You could actually get their voters with an issue that's on our side. Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to use an enormous advantage you have in that? No, best to let it go, right? No, you guys are all wrong. You're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. You fight to get money out of politics, you've got 90% of the American people on your side. It's amazing that they don't understand incredibly simple concepts like that. Hey, 90% is a good number in a democracy, okay? I'll say it's slow for you. Now, okay, all kidding aside, it's not that they're slow. You think all those guys in the building are dumb. They're not. No, it's self-interest. They think, well, look, if Bernie Sanders won, he wouldn't give me the job that Hillary Clinton was going to give me in her administration. You know, look, I look out for her. She looks out for me. Bernie Sanders is going to want to put progressives in there. I've been here as part of the establishment all this time. I've been looking forward to a nice job, cushy job at the White House or keep my job at the DNC. Bernie's not going to let me do that. To them, Bernie was the enemy. So populism is the enemy. It's not that they're stupid. It's that they think, I want a job. And by the way, after I'm done with the government job, I want a lobbyist job. That pays me even better. My kids got to go to a private school, right? We destroyed the public schools. Now I got to go to a private school. So I got to take the corporate money. So Bernie Sanders and the real progressives would upend that system. So that's why they don't want to do it. That's why they will fight this tooth and nail. That's why you need a real leader to come in and clean house. If they don't do that, I'm going to vote them all out. Vote them out, all those Democratic establishment guys. Primaries, primary. Primary them all. Run them all out of town, okay? Because they're never going to have an awakening and go, oh, yeah, I'm the corrupt one. Yeah. Oh, that's true. I've been looking forward to a crony job here. And then later I look forward to a lobbyist job, which pays more. I know that, right? And Bernie would prevent that, and populists would prevent that. If we get money out of politics, where am I going to get the money, right? Yeah. That's how they think. They don't even know it. They think like, what? That's how this works. You guys are all these populists. You're not being fair to us. My kids got to go to school. And Boeing and Lockheed Martin and Raytheon and Philip Morris and ExxonMobil, they do good work. They're fine. Okay? Yeah, fire them all. Okay, last step. Represent the people instead of donors. I swear to you, like all of you that are actual Americans throughout the country and in the world, you think like, Cenk, why are you saying these things that are so damn obvious? Of course in a democracy you should represent people, not donors. But I promise you that if there are folks in Washington watching this, they are snickering at every one of these steps. And when you say represent people instead of donors, like, so naive, these progressives. No. Look, you got to get the donor money. Without the donor money, you can't win. It turns out with the donor money, you couldn't win. oops. We are right, they are wrong. And if they can't come to that conclusion on their own, we'll have to force them to come to that conclusion. Primary every Democratic Party establishment person until they go, okay. You got to do that in 2018 so that in 2020 we have an actual progressive running. You run one more establishment guy against Trump and Trump gets 8 years, imagine the damage that he could do. This isn't about, interpersonal or even or partisan politics. This is about saving the republic and the world from another 4 years of Donald Trump. And we can't have these incompetent, self-interested guys at the DNC destroying this party. Young Turks. The Young Turks isn't just us, it's also you guys. You make this show possible, and we want to thank you for it, and we want to grow together. We want to be too strong. tytnetwork.com/join. Let's do it.